I'm Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad. And don't ever let me catch you guys in America.
When it comes to slapstick comedy, few did it better than the trio of David Zucker, Jim Abrahams and Jerry Zucker, or ZAZ for short. As the minds behind Airplane, Police Squad or The Naked Gun, they mastered the art of crafting jokes that feel like total chaos on the surface, but are underneath built on rock-solid setups, razor-sharp timing, and a deep understanding of how the brain makes logical connections, all to better subvert our expectations and make us laugh. Their style is instantly recognizable. Clever camera tricks, snappy dialogue,
Cigarette?
Yes, I know.
and escalating absurdity. But behind the madness lies something deceptively precise, an airtight logic pushed to its absolute limits. Let's break down how the ZAZ made comedy that looked dumb, but was absolutely brilliant.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Just kidding.
At its core, comedy is simple. All you need is a setup and then a punchline. Sounds easy, right? But if you've ever tried writing a joke, you know just how difficult it is to pull off. Because a punchline can't just be anything random. It has to be built on what was already established, and then be unexpected, all while still making perfect sense. It needs to surprise you, but in a way that clicks the moment you see or hear it. Let's look at a perfect example of that from Airplane.
Captain, how soon can you land?
I can't tell.
You can tell me I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
Or can't you take a guess?
Well, not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
Brilliant, isn't it? But why? Well, because grammatically speaking, it makes perfect sense. His last question wasn't, how soon can you land? It was, can't you take a guess? Therefore, interpreting the pilot's reply as a direct answer to said question is perfectly logical. But it's also utterly unpredictable, because we're used to understanding language contextually. We're wired to read between the lines to make the right connections. Our brain naturally assumed the pilot was answering the question before last, and in doing so, we got tricked. We expected one reply, but got another one that still technically made sense. And that's the ZAZ formula in a nutshell. The punchline may sound ridiculous or absurd, but it is grounded in logic. If it wasn't, well, it wouldn't be funny. And it works time and time again.
This woman has to be gotten to a hospital.
A hospital? What is it?
It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
That's the red light district. Wonder why Savage is hanging out down there.
Sex, Frank?
No, not right now, Ed. We got work to do.
Cuban?
No, Dutch-Irish. My father was from Wales. Now, do you think you can beat the champ?
I can take him blindfolded.
What if he's not blindfolded?
I can still beat him.
Well, we're sorry to bother you at a time like this, Mrs. Twice. We would have come earlier, but your husband wasn't dead then.
And while we're at it, here's what I believe to be the best example of that, and the best comedy line ever written.
Who are you and how did you get in here?
I'm the locksmith. And I'm the locksmith.
Note, by the way, the absolutely perfect delivery of Leslie Nielsen. But we'll get back to that in just a minute. Now, what about visual gags, you might ask? After all, they're pure slapstick. You might think that there's more leeway and less logic in that. But that's not true. The same formula applies just as well, if not more so, just slightly differently. With visual gags, the key is asking, what if? And then finding funny ways to subvert the expectations of the audience in a way that's still grounded. For example, think of a famous trope where someone slams into a door. We've seen it in countless movies. As a result, our brain is expecting a certain outcome. Either the door opens dramatically, or maybe it doesn't budge. But the ZAZ know that. So they take it in an unexpected direction. What if the door opens and... or hit someone else? Or maybe this happens. There's nothing crazy in any of those examples. All these things could happen in real life. What's funny here, once again, is the contrast between what we expected and what we received. But wait, some of you might say, some ZAZ gags are totally absurd, they don't make any sense. That's true, but they still follow an internal logic. Take this scene, for example, where Priscilla Presley tries to slap Leslie Nielsen.
Well, I see a certain kitten still knows how to scratch.
Now, on paper that sounds insane, but the joke is earned because the ZAZ built a clear pattern first. One slap, then a second one, and so by the time the third one comes, your brain is ready for something. As a result, the third slap is both logical and unexpected. You see, absurdity in humor isn't the opposite of logic, it's the exaggeration of it. And this is where bad comedians often fail, by the way. They think, oh, I just need to throw in something unexpected, something wild, and people will laugh. But no, if it's not grounded in a clear logic or in a clear pattern, the audience just goes... A punchline only truly works when there's some version of it that the audience could have almost seen coming, even if it didn't. If there's no hint, no rhythm, no setup, it just feels random. And random does not equal funny. Finally, one last trick that the ZAZ team mastered, and it might be their most underrated one, was getting exactly the right tone from their actors. Remember Leslie Nielsen I mentioned earlier? Deadpan, dignified, and yet absolutely hilarious? Well, that's not luck. To pull that off, the ZAZ relied on two key strategies. First, they cast almost exclusively dramatic actors in their comedies. Why? Because they knew that the straighter the delivery, the funnier the joke. When actors play too big, it can feel like they're trying to force the laugh. It's as if they're doing the work for the audience, and that kills the joke. The ZAZ trusted the material and trusted the audience to get it.
The most common direction I ever gave after that is, I would say, let the lines do the work.
But their second trick was even more subtle.
What we used to tell the actors, we never said play it straight. We always said pretend that you don't know you're in a comedy.
It's a small distinction, but it's a vital one. What it means is that the actors don't have to be serious all the time. They're allowed to act and react. If something shocking happens, they can be shocked. If something tragic happens, they can look sad. What they can't do is signal to the audience that they're in on the joke. No mugging, no winking, just total commitment. And that commitment is what sells the gag. When a character reacts with genuine confusion, horror, or sincerity, it grounds the absurdity. It gives the joke contrast, like adding spice to a dish to make the flavors pop even more.
The truth hurts, doesn't it, Habsburg? Oh, sure. Maybe not as much as jumping on a bicycle with a seat missing, but it hurts.
In the end, slapstick comedy can look dumb, it can sound dumb, but underneath, it has to be smart. And that's exactly what the ZAZ were masters at. Their movies might play like chaotic storms of silliness, gags flying every second, logic that seems tossed out the window, but look closer and you'll see the opposite. Carefully constructed jokes built on rhythm, precision, and airtight logic. Every setup is deliberate, every punchline is engineered. Because great comedy, even the kind where people fall down a lot, is never lazy. It sets up the world, understands its rules, and then at the perfect moment, it breaks them. And when it does, well, you laugh.
Be sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss on future analysis, montages, and more. Until next time, stay tuned.